of me is Chris. Say hi, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Who do we have with us, Chris?
We have Ken on once again.
Once again. Say
Yeah.
hi, Ken.
I can.
So, what are we talking about, Chris?
So today, I think you and I are not necessarily known for buying new comics or really we're not really the Wednesday Warriors that we used to be. And I
No.
think Ken is a bit more of a Wednesday Warrior. And so I thought it might be interesting to talk about buying comics today as opposed to buying them in the past and what kind of stuff is
Mhm.
coming out. And is it, is new stuff cool? Is old stuff cool? That sort of thing. What's trendy now?
Cool. Well,
So
if you want me to go ahead, I don't know how you want me to. I can
like,
tell
what's
you.
on your pull list? Do you have a pull list?
Yeah.
And
It's on
what's
my
on it?
pull list.
What's your standard pull list that you have to get every month?
It's mostly DC. Not a lot of Marvel. Like the Marvel stuff, it's very simple. It's like I like Hulk, so I keep Hulk. Anything Ghost Rider related,
No, but
Captain America.
what's your I'm going back to my standard Wednesdays where every
Yeah.
month certain books came out. I have to buy this book. I have to buy that book.
Okay. Yeah.
What's your like Chris said pull list that you have to get every month?
Okay. I have Superman on mine. I have Wonder Woman on mine. I have Flash, Green Arrow, and Green Lantern. They're on my monthlies.
Now, for people who don't know, like I'm kind of in the middle, who's watching this. You're talking about the absolute Batman, absolute Superman, absolute Green Lantern, and all that stuff, right?
I do read those, yeah, on top of
Or is
the
it,
like the
or is it,
regular.
okay, again, I'm asking that stupid question. So there's two versions of Green Lantern and two versions of uh
There's
absolute version and plain version of Green Lantern.
That's correct. Yeah, there is. You got it.
Sorry, see how confusing that sounded?
Yeah,
I'm aware
I
of
know.
that.
Yeah. What's
I
that,
was going to
Chris?
say, I'm aware of that because I've been reading the Batman, the Absolute Batman, and I do know that
Batman's
it's
awesome. I love that book.
amazing.
That's a great book. The art
Yeah.
is fantastic.
So, are you reading both absolute and the regular versions?
Yeah, I'm reading Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman. I dropped Flash and Green Lantern because I didn't like them.
Okay. No, no,
And
no. But
Martian
are you
Manhunter.
reading the absolute versions and the regular versions?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I
Wow.
am.
And do you think that there'll ever be a point where they have to do like, there's too many worlds, so they have to collide them together?
Well, they did. They did the DCKO event where the absolute characters actually joined the fray to fight Darkseid. So they were actually in it. So they've actually all met. Actually, believe
Okay.
it or not.
So, okay, I'm completely new to
You're
this.
confused.
Even though I'm a huge comic fan and stuff like that of the old days and stuff, what is the absolute universe?
Well, the absolute universe was created by Darkseid. Darkseid died, and then he was kind of reborn in this new universe where there's supposed to be darker versions of all these characters of the DC universe. So they're just like, I don't know, they're darker and a bit different and more twisted, or they're meant to be that way.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay.
So
I really enjoy seeing the way that they rewrite the characters. Like Commissioner Gordon is such a different character in the Absolute Batman universe, and Catwoman is a completely different person, and the villains, the fact that they're Bruce
it's
Wayne's
friends.
friends
Yeah,
is kind of a neat
yeah,
thing.
that's
Like
great.
I love that.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's a really good book.
Yeah.
And the art, Nick Dragotta, he's a really good artist.
Scott Schneider is writing the Batman book, if I remember right.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Now,
And the Superman one's good too.
I bought Superman #1 when last year when it came out. It's sitting somewhere in my area here. Haven't looked
Mhm.
at it. One day I will read it. So I've heard Flash was not good. I've heard from a few
No,
people. Yeah.
That's too
I
bad.
didn't like it. It's Wally West in the absolute version, but I don't like it.
Mm.
Okay.
I don't like it. And I hate the Green Lantern's worse because it's the Joe Mullen character. And they turned Hal into the Black Hand, which it's stupid. It's really stupid.
Okay. And now you got me confused. Who's the main character of Green Lantern? I don't even know that.
Joe Mullen was one. do you remember that comic called Far Sector that DC did a few years back?
Yes, yes, yes.
That's that character. It's Joe
Oh,
Moss.
okay, okay, okay. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
So
it's not a good book.
my other question about your sort of regular comic book buying is, are you a graphic novel? Do you wait till everything comes out and buy it in a chunk, or are you still floppies every week?
I'm still stuck to the floppies. I probably should go to the graphic novels, but for whatever reasons, I have a pull list at Red Nail Comics here in Toronto. So I mean, they pull whatever I ask, and I like going in and getting them. So I on a Saturday, I just love coming down there and getting my books. And I don't know, I mean, yeah, I know most people like you guys and my other friends, they don't read them, but I like to. I still
Yeah.
like reading it though.
Now, when you go into the comic shop,
Mhm.
you get your pull list,
Mhm.
you go over to the shelf and say, "Hey, I want to try this, I want to try that," or you just get your pull list and go out, out the
Well,
door.
sometimes I'll ask Sam, who runs the shop. He's really good. He knows what I like, and he's always pulling it. Like for example, this past week was free comic book day, and I went in there, and that store didn't order a lot of the books, but he ordered the Conan books and he put them aside for me. He's like, "I know you love Conan." And I said, "Yep, he's one of my favorite characters." So like it's great that way if you get to know somebody or an owner who kind of knows your tastes and then pulls
Yes,
stuff
that's
from
it.
you. So that's
Yeah.
usually how it goes for me.
Now, Marvel wise, what your go-to Marvel book?
Actually, Hulk is probably the one I like the most. I
Oh,
love Hulk. Hulk is great. It's weird and twisted, and it's called the Infernal Hulk, where he's kind of like half Hulk and half kind of demonic monster. It's I like it. I think it's fun. The art's really Nick Klein is a really good
so,
artist.
so who's writing and who's drawing it?
Philip Kennedy Johnson is the writer, and Nick Klein is the artist.
Okay.
It's a
Have you
lot
been
of fun.
following Hulk for a while now?
Oh yeah, I've read the Mortal Hulk, and now Infernal Hulk. I've been reading all the runs right through. So
Hulk is one of
it's
those books that I've been trying to get into, but just trying to find a
I'll
right
tell you,
place to get in.
yeah, it's hard because if you could read Infernal Hulk, but if you haven't read Immortal Hulk, and it's you have to kind of I would think you would need to read Immortal Hulk and then go into Infernal Hulk. You sort of
So you
pick
can't
up.
just jump in
Well,
a
you can. No, you can jump in. Like I wouldn't say not to. I'm just saying for your own edification about the character, it would be better to
better
read
to read. Yes.
Immortal and then go into Infernal. But
So I
So
guess if you've been reading sort of, I think you're probably one of the only people in our group that sort of had a continuous span reading
yeah,
comic books.
yes.
So what's the best origin for any comic book? And then the second question, what's the best secondary origin? So maybe they fixed an origin and made it better.
okay. Green Lantern is probably my favorite origin. I love that story. I just love the fact that he was like this cowboy, superstar kind of Top Gun character. He's such an ass, but he's great. I think he's such a flawed character. And I love the fact that he finds a dead alien and gets his ring and it's like, yeah, you're Green Lantern. And that's it. And he just learns it on the
I
fly.
agree,
That's
100%
great.
agree with you on that one. I
Yeah,
100%
that's
agree.
great. It's like
Yeah,
to me, how could you not have
yeah,
an origin as good as that?
Yeah.
yeah.
And sorry, what was the secondary one you
So
mentioned?
has there been any like origin revamps, like where they took an origin and they redid it and you thought it was actually better than the original origin?
That's a tough one. I think Wonder Woman would probably be the one because I love what Prez did on the
I was about to say the same thing.
after Crisis. I think that was a
Yeah,
fantastic
for
run.
us rewriting it and doing the whole Greek mythology, that
Yeah,
was
I like that
really
run.
good.
I like
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's good. I wouldn't have thought of that, but now that I think about it, like the original origin Wonder Woman is kind of not as good, not nearly as good.
No.
no, not for
Yeah.
me.
Now, question for you. Again, going back to the old days, going on Wednesdays to the comic shop with a bunch of people and stuff,
Mhm.
buying my, 20, 30 books and stuff. How many books do you buy on average a month now?
How many books? It's probably about 25
Oh,
It's
wow.
reasonable.
Okay.
per month. It's a fair amount.
Have you noticed over the years that the amount declines every year, or does it get more?
It's hard to answer that one because like for a while it was not a lot, and then all of a sudden DC got better with their books, and I'm going back to DC because I like what they're doing. So it kind of it fluctuates though from year to year. Like I like this new next level event that DC's doing. I
Yeah.
revamping Lobo and revamping all
See,
these cool characters.
you know me, and
Yeah,
for years, I used to buy like 20, 30 books a month,
I
and,
remember. Yeah.
it declined. Then when DC did the new 52, I was excited. I was like, I want to buy this again, and
Mm-hmm.
bought a lot of their books. And
Mm-hmm.
as soon as DC had issues with their creative teams, I was
Mm-hmm.
just like, you know what? Why am I buying this stuff anymore? You
Yeah,
know,
New
and it
52 was terrible at the end.
yeah, and it was, you know what, it got me excited because it had a lot of good creative teams and stuff, had a lot of potential, but the company stepped in and, thought they knew more than the creators did, you know, and it's just, as a
Sure.
reader, you're just like, you know what, you know, what the hell are you guys doing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
Ken,
true.
as sort of a writer yourself, what what character would you like to write?
Me? Oh, well, if it was Marvel, it'd be Ghost Rider. That's my favorite Marvel character is Ghost Rider. If it was DC, it'd be Green Lantern. I would love Green. That's one of my favorite characters.
Would you want to do like main Green Lantern, or would you want to do like sub characters, like going off into the sort of the side bits of Green Lantern
I
core
think the
type thing?
main book. I love Hal Jordan to me is Green Lantern. I don't care what anyone ever tells you. He is Green Lantern.
But one thing, but one thing I have to say about Green Lantern and defending Green Lantern is, uh,
Mhm.
Green Lantern had really good supporting characters like John Stewart, Guy Gardner,
Yes,
even
Yeah,
Kyle Rayner, who replaced Hal Jordan. He was an amazing character. All of those Green Lantern character core Green Lanterns are equally as good.
yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of that book is the fact that it's not just one good character.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
part of the reason why I sometimes I dump on Superman a little bit is I tend to find that the secondary characters just aren't as good as like
no,
Batman's
they're not.
secondary
Yeah,
character.
you're right. Yeah, you're
that's
right,
it.
Chris.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
totally
Green
right.
Lantern's
Now,
another one that I would say the secondary characters are great.
oh,
Like,
are equally as good. Yes. Now,
yeah.
Ken, question for you about Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Why is DC so afraid to do something with Kyle Rayner?
Actually, you're. This is funny you mentioned the Chetan because Kyle Rayner just replaced Hal in the current book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've taken Hal out. Hal's going on some kind of weird secret mission, and now basically Kyle is the Green Lantern of Earth now.
Because for years they were afraid to use him.
I know, but they. I don't know. DC's funny. They're doing funny stuff. Like right now, they've sidelined Superman. He's gone missing, and they've got Superboy Prime who's filling in
Yes,
for
I
him.
saw. Yeah, I did see
Yeah,
that.
it's and now Kyle's replacing Hal, which I don't mind. I like. I actually. I love that second series. It was really good.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of like I grew up in the '90s as well, reading
Well, I
comics.
bought all the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern
Yeah,
books.
yeah,
And
same here.
Ron Mars did a great job writing it.
He did. He did.
Yeah.
You're right. So he's back, as far as I know.
Sorry, Chris, we're geeking out on Green Lantern.
I'm okay with
I'm,
that. As
I'm
long
a
as you don't
huge
talk about
Green
Ryan
Lantern
Reynolds Green
fan.
Lantern, I'm okay.
Sorry?
Oh, the Ryan Reynolds. He mentioned the
Oh, Ryan
Ryan
Reynolds.
Reynolds
Yes.
movie.
Yes. And one day I still have to finish out the Grant Morrison Green Lantern run. I still have to finish it.
Oh my God! Don't get me started on that shit. And I can't make heads or tails of that series. I read all of it, and I still can't make heads or tails of it.
Yeah, but that's Grant Morrison. So,
I know, I
yeah.
know, and we've talked
Yeah.
about it many, many times.
Yeah. And I still have to finish the second volume. So hopefully one day this year I'll finish that volume.
Sure.
So we'll go back to the books that you would have written for.
Mhm.
Uh, Out of Ghost Rider and Green Lantern, for somebody who, say, is uninitiated to the characters at all, where would you recommend that they start reading it? Like, how would you, is there a particular run that you would say for both of those
Well,
that is like just will grab you and that'll suck you into that character?
Ghost Rider. You read the original run from issue one. That the first volume is where all the great stuff happened. How I don't know. I actually like the um the first what Jeff Johns run. I like
Yeah,
the Green
that was
Lantern
very
Rebirth.
good.
That's a
Yeah,
really good story
that
because it
was very good. Yeah.
basically grounded everything, streamlined it, kept the origin, but then also as time went on, created all the new rings like the spectrum of
Yeah.
rings, the black
Those
rings, the
are
orange, red. I love that
that
concept
was
is great.
yeah, that was a great run. I mean, Jeff
Yeah.
Johns did a great run.
So
Now,
what you
Ghost
were saying
Rider,
earlier, Chris, about characters, that's a really good example because you had like Larfleeze, you had with the orange ring, you had Blackhand with the black rings. Like he really expanded the mythos during that
That's
and
time.
true.
that's what one thing, Chris, you said is like unlike Superman, where you have the supporting characters and supporting, like Supergirl, Crypto, all that stuff. Hate to say it, no one cared about that. What Green Lantern, what Jeff Johns, and even when Steve Englehart was writing it, they had characters and stuff in the background, you know, other characters that were interesting, like even Nort,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was an interesting character, and even the other Green Lanterns, uh, the bird guy, Tom Ray,
Oh, Tom Murray. Yeah, Tom Murray's all
yeah,
right. Yeah,
even
that's a cool
even
character.
characters like that, they made the supporting Green Lantern characters interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Kilowog, come on,
Yeah,
they
Kilowog is
made him
awesome.
interesting.
Hmm.
Well, it's a story that has the advantage of like since there's a whole army of them from different planets, you can really like you have an unlimited ink to draw this story out of because you have this like okay, well, there's infinite planets with like infinite universes that technically a
Yeah,
Green Lantern could be a part of, so you can make other interesting characters and bring it in. Whereas I
Hmm.
think there are other lines that like it's a little bit harder to bring in
no,
things.
but with
We're talking about
Superman, you made a good point. Even Superman, I read Superman comics, but I had no interest in reading Supergirl or a Crypto comic.
Fair
You
enough.
know,
Fair enough.
I just didn't care about those, that type of. Even
yeah.
in Supergirl, only reason I bought Supergirl was because it was drawn by Gary Frank for a while. Going
Hmm.
back, I
Hmm.
bought it for the art more than the story. And I know it was Peter David writing at that time, who was a good writer, but I had no interest in the character.
That's
So I guess
fair.
my other question, Ken, is like when you're buying comic books, what are the writers' names and maybe artists' names that you're like, if their books come out, no matter what it was, even if it was the stupidest character in the world, you'd be like, if this guy's doing it, I'm grabbing it. What's your list?
Well, Jeremy Adams, who's right now writing Aquaman and Green Lantern, he's a really good writer. His
Okay.
dad wrote comics for DC way back in the 80s, I believe. And keeping that tradition alive. He's really good because he sort of likes to tie the DC history, so he's really good at that. So, like Chetan, for example, if you do want to read Green
Yeah.
Lantern, I tell you read Jeremy Adams. He's a really
Okay.
really good
Jeremy
writer.
Adams. Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
he's a really good writer, really smart guy. Because I've
Yeah.
I've read some interviews with him, and he loves the DC lore, and he's very respectful
That's,
to the
what,
lore.
that's where I was talking to a friend of mine, and that's one thing I like about writers and stuff is that who are fans of the original source material, and that makes it interesting because, like, again, I keep going back to his name, but Grant Morrison, he knows the original characters, he knows, the history of the
Yeah, he
DC and all
does.
that. But even though Fallon Moore and what you said about Jeremy Adams, and they bring those mythos into the stories, and that as a fanboy, that's what I enjoy. It's like, yes, I want to see a new take on the characters, but sometimes you want someone who knows the history of the characters.
Absolutely.
So anybody
And
else?
if you're looking, if you want to mention the art, Daniel Samperi, who draws Wonder Woman, he's really good.
Yes.
He's probably their best, I guess, all around artistic talent they have there, and they've used them on a lot of books. But now they got him on Wonder Woman with Tom King. So, I'm not a huge fan of Tom King, I'll be honest, but I love the art, so I buy
Yeah.
it like because I love looking at the art. He's really talented.
And what would you?
Marvel, nothing.
No,
Sorry, I didn't mean to stop you in your tracks, but
no,
if you
no,
were to
no.
ask me
That's
about Marvel, no. The writing is not great there, and the art is not great there,
Wow.
in my
when was the
mind.
last time Marvel was great?
Uh, Good question. That's a good question. I can't even tell you, man. Like maybe when Joe Quesada started there,
Wow,
maybe.
that's come back 90s. Wow.
But the last 10 years of Marvel was terrible. It's not good.
Wow. So I have a very important question to ask you, and you're the perfect person to ask. And Chris and I had this talk before. Are comics dying?
Are comics dying? Yeah, a lot of people like to say they're dying. I don't think they're dying. They're changing. I would think. Here's the thing. Okay, this is one little small thing I want to mention, and it's a good point. You have free comic book day. Stores have to buy these books. I get it.
Yes.
Now, it seems to me in the last few years, a lot of stores are actually not participating or they're cutting back on the orders. Why can't a multi-billion-dollar corporation like Warner Brothers and DC and Marvel and Disney, why the hell can't they just give them free to store?
That's what last
You want to bring people in, like you want to expand.
that's what Brian from Worlds Collide,
Yeah,
we were talking last few years about that.
yeah.
And his biggest complaint is people walk in, grab the free book, walk back out.
That's
And,
exactly what
and
I discussed with Sam yesterday. I
yeah,
read. It's
and
the same
that
thing.
and that's the problem. And the issue with that is it's like, you know what? Okay, you're taking a free stuff, but look at the other stuff also. And
Mhm.
for the longest time, until Brian mentioned it, and this is going back like 4 or 5 years ago, I did
Mhm.
not know this that the free comic book day comics that the stores bought them. I honestly thought it was the publishers who gave it to them.
Yeah, I had the same thought. I
Yeah. And when he told me that, I was just like in shock. I'm like, are you serious? And I agree with you. Marvel and DC should be not even every year, at least 2 times a year, should be putting out, you know, free comics like this and
yeah.
putting them out because you know what? That's the best way to get readership.
Yeah.
Well, you said they're dying, but that's what I'm saying. They're dying because they don't promote it to people. It's only old people. Well, I speak for myself, but old farts like me who are reading this stuff. So I mean,
But
like,
but
you
this
want to
is
get kids in there, right?
and here's the thing. Yesterday, when I was at Worlds Collide for Free Comic Book Day, I saw a
Yeah.
lot of younger people in the shop,
Oh, cool.
teenagers, and which is great. And now,
Mhm.
Chris and I have been talking about this for a long time, and I'm bringing this up again. I'm sounding like a broken record. You know,
No, go for it.
North American comics. You made a good point. It's old farts like us who are keep buying this stuff.
That's
Where
right.
you look at the manga comics. I mean, manga books. My two shelves here, my daughter's taking over my shelves from me because her manga books have to fit on it now.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
Makes sense.
her volume, I'm looking at one of them, it's about 20 volumes for one book, one series. And they're
Yeah, yeah.
200-page books, 20 volumes. But she's read all of them.
Yeah.
And Chris and I talked about this. Asian market has a formula that works, and it's been working for
And the European market too.
European also. Yes, it's been
European. Okay.
working for decades. And the
Yeah.
only reason I use manga is they do it more on a regular basis. I mean, even European like Dylan Dog and stuff like that, they do it on a regular basis. They have a formula that works.
Yes.
For North America, it's just one of those things where, and again, comics are not respected as art and good storytelling, and
Mhm.
it's that stereotype is never going to be taken away.
Well, see, I don't think comics are dying. I think they will change, if you
Oh
want
no,
my
I don't think they're
I think they're
dying.
going
I
to
just think
change.
they have to change. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my opinion. I don't think
Yeah.
they're dying. I mean, I know you guys are on YouTube, so you see a lot of people. Oh, comics are dying.
No,
Well,
that's why I brought it up because I don't.
technically,
Yeah, I
sorry.
don't think they're dying. I think my personal thinking is I think the monthly floppies might die
Yeah,
eventually.
that could happen. Yes,
Yeah, because
I
if
would
they have
agree.
to go into the European manga format, collect the books and put them out, put out a graphic novel every month. That's
It's
fine.
basically the
People buy
Netflix
it.
of comic books,
That's it. Yeah.
That's a good point.
you
That's a good
know.
point.
So
But
it's it's
I'm going to read floppies till I die. I'm sorry. I'm going to be one of those guys that's just going to keep reading them until they don't print them anymore. I hate to say it,
you're
but
like the
that's
people
what
buying DVDs now.
that's true. People are buying
Yeah.
DVDs now. That's a very good point. Good point.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but this is a question I was asking Brian at Worlds Collide yesterday was when I looked on the shelf, I go, hey, Brian, there's a lot of reissues of old books. Like there's a Secret Wars number, whatever, reprint. There's a reprint of Rocketeer #1 for $2, and things like that. And he goes, yeah, people are interested because they don't want to spend $30, $40 for the original. But I told them, I go, who are buying this? Younger people or older people? He goes,
I think it's
most of,
speculators are buying a
yeah.
lot
He
of
goes,
stuff,
most of,
Chetan.
yeah. And I go, but on the other hand, the floppies, do you find more younger people buying? He goes, yes, I do notice people coming in buying it,
Oh,
and
that's good.
that's it's a good sign as a comic fan,
Absolutely.
that's a good sign. And I think the free comic book day, I agree with you. I mean, it's a great opportunity for publishers to do something,
Yeah,
North,
you celebrate your characters.
but North American publishers are not learning.
No, they're stupid. They're all
Yeah.
stupid. And that's
Although
why it's dying.
the one nice thing I've noticed, and Worlds Collide is a great example, is that Free Comic Book Day is also turning into Meet Your Local Comic Book Artist Day.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
yes,
great.
yes,
I think that's
yes,
awesome.
yeah,
I saw the photos that you guys were posting. It looks
yeah.
great. I Awesome, man. Why not?
Yeah, I think that's a great one. I think we were talking about like the old books coming back. I think part of that is also the movies. So like everybody's getting
Yeah.
interested in Secret Wars because the movies are coming, and so
Yes, that's
reprinting
it.
is and stuff. Movies have these like it's this weird balance. It's like part of it is like it's cool because it brings interest. Like I'm sure Lobo comics are going to go up a little bit in interest, but on the
Yeah,
other hand, when you have like a Superman franchise or something like that, they're not going to do anything major because they're like,
but
we can't kill the character off because there's
but
this.
here's the thing,
Sure.
and here's the thing. When I go to the bookstore, I'm not comic book store, a regular bookstore with my
Mhm.
daughter. They have like 10 shelves full of manga books. Then they have like two shelves full of DC and Marvel. And even though, let's say, Lobo movie's coming out, Supergirl with Lobo, I don't see Supergirl books anywhere. I don't see Lobo books anywhere. You
Although it
know,
doesn't, isn't there a manga Supergirl book now?
There probably is. Yeah, I would
Probably
think.
I just missed. I haven't seen it. I'm sure there is, but my thing is, this is where North American publishers, they're not front and center in promoting their products to everyday audience. Yes, comic book stores will have their graphic novels and stuff out, but do you see a Supergirl book in a Walmart? No.
Yeah.
Do you see them go?
Well, the Walmart experiment died though, Shatan. Remember, they were putting comics,
But
those value comics, right?
But Dollar Store now has like the pack comics. Have you noticed that?
I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah,
the graphic novels have stopped now, so I guess we
yeah,
bought
they
them
have.
all once. I
Yeah.
don't know.
No, but the thing is, if there's a big movie coming out, my thing was, and this is the old thing I was talking about years ago when the
Mhm.
Disney store in my mall area has closed down. When I went to the Disney store, they had Spider-Man toys, Spider-Man costumes, everything.
Yep.
Zero
Yep.
comics, zero
Yeah.
graphic novels. you know. But you have young kids coming who don't know about Spider-Man comics. You could
No,
sell them in those type of stores. Like
you
Chris
Yeah.
could.
said about the European comics, like Asterix. You could
Oh
find them
yeah, Esther.
everywhere. No,
Yeah.
Chris went to the Asterix Museum.
No,
Oh, cool.
it was not Asterix, it was Tintin.
Tintin,
Oh,
sorry,
Tintin.
Tintin.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry,
great. Oh,
Tintin. I'm sorry,
awesome.
Tintin.
Yeah.
And and you find those books everywhere, right?
Yeah. And I was just in Paris last week, and I talked to a comic book shop owner, and he said that Paris has the highest density of comic book shops in the world.
Really?
Really? I didn't know
So
that.
Paris itself has about almost 100 comic book shops.
Oh wow. Huh,
Wow.
that's incredible.
Wow.
And
That's
when you go to
great.
those shops, it's comic books, and it's indie
Right.
stuff, it's North American stuff, it's manga, it's everything. And I went
So
to
no
about four or
toys and
five of them
cards and
when I was
crap,
there.
right?
Yeah, it's it, and I mean I talked to the guy about why they survived, and one of the things is they have a law in France that says that it's illegal for any comic book distributor to sell to a company for less than another. So
Really?
so we're
Wow.
like say Chapters is getting a bunch of books, like say they're getting 300 of a particular comic book or 3,000 of a comic book, and they say, well, we'll get a deal, and they're like, of course you would. And then the comic book shop that can only order two can't get that deal, so they can't sort
Oh,
of
wow.
the prices, they're not making as much profit. In France, that's illegal.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Now, let me ask you this. Unlike North American comic shops, um, did you see any Funko toys and stuff like that there?
There's a few, but it's not the majority for sure.
Because
Toys are
here, when
not.
you go to most shops, it's like wall to wall of Funko toys. And, I hate to say it, by the time you reach the comic section, you're seeing enough junk that, you're like,
Yeah.
what am I doing here? You know?
But European stores
Fan
don't have
Expo.
floppies.
Oh, right, right. They don't.
They
That's
Okay.
what I
they
was going to ask
they don't
also. Yeah.
exist. So
Yeah.
they're really just comic book. They're just bookstores that specifically deal with comic book stuff.
So
So it's
that's another question. It's like, why can't North American stores have that mentality? And if it, you said Paris has 100 comic shops, where here in Toronto, as every year goes by, more and more stores are closing down.
yeah.
Yep.
A
That's
lot of it,
true.
I think, is just that they make it fair. So these little shops can, again, they're making the same profit off of that graphic novel as the big bookstores.
Yeah.
And even
No.
Amazon has to abide by that law there. So Amazon sales on books is super low
Wow.
because
Wow.
they can't get a deal on the stuff that the French people want.
Yeah.
So they can't sell it for less or make deals or make more money off of it. So it's not as big of an interest. So the small stores, you have to go to them. And the guy was saying, yeah, we get our people coming in because they're like, well, why would I get it on Amazon? I can get it at your store. It's the same price. And he's like, I can
Yeah.
sell 5 books and I'm still making the same percentage off of each book as
Okay.
Amazon would.
See, that's good. Okay, that's good. That's never going to happen here.
No, 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 no,
That's never
Chetan. It
going to
won't
happen
happen.
here. And
Particularly
one
with Marvel being owned by Disney and DC being owned by Warner Brothers, there's like legally, you've got their legal team versus the little comic book shops.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
Interesting.
but in France it's different, or at least in Europe it's different. There's just different rules. So, but it's I'm trying to think. I was going to ask, most underrated comic book about just to get back on the subject.
Recent or past? Like what? Like what era? Anything
Let's
or?
Let's
say
say
both. Let's say
recent.
both.
Let's
Let's
say
say both.
recent. Like
Yeah.
what would you say is something that I'm not reading that like why aren't you reading it?
Oh, that's a good question. The new Aquaman book is really underrated. I think it's really, really good.
Oh,
Again,
really?
Jeremy Adams, I'll pump his name, but that's a really good book. And he's not like, do you think he's like an A-lister? Probably not, but I like what's going on there. I like what they're doing with that book. And they brought back all these characters like Arian from the Atlantis series. They
Lord
brought
of
that character
Atlantis.
back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they brought that character in. They
Oh,
brought
wow.
Captain Nemo in, which I thought was like Captain
That's an
Nemo.
old character. Yeah.
Yeah, so they
Wow.
brought all these
Wow.
interesting characters in. So I think it's an underrated book. I like that book a lot. It's worth
Okay.
reading.
Oh, wow.
I'll add it to my list.
Cool, cool.
Where were you? I should have looked for those books yesterday. I was just like walking around going, I want to buy, I was tempted to buy the Spider-Man and Superman book.
I bought it. I bought it.
What was your overall take on it?
I thought it was all right. They're just okay. They don't have the magic of the original
That's what
ones
Brian
that we
was saying.
bought. Remember years and years
Brian,
ago?
Brian said it was okay. It was fun read, but that's it.
That's exactly my same opinion as
Yeah.
Brian's. Yeah, it's just a fun read. But it's not like what the of old. Remember, Batman, Spider-Man, Batman,
Yeah.
Hulk, Spider-Man. Like those were great. Those
Those
older
are fun.
books were
Yeah.
fantastic. But they're not like that.
Yeah.
Not now.
I think they might have done it too many times at this point.
I think
Like,
so. You're right, Chris. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that's it. Yes.
I
like
think
for a while
so.
it was this weird thing where these characters like, how do they meet? This is crazy. And now it's sort of like, they're doing it again.
Well, I bought the Batman Deadpool one, the first one.
Deadpool, yes.
So I
Yes.
read it, and they had some side stories. So they had one where Captain America meets Wonder Woman in World War II. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool, but
That's kind
who
of neat.
cares? Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was cool, but I don't know. It doesn't have the same value as it had, 30 years ago
Yeah,
when these books
that's it.
came out.
You know what? You need good fun stories. That's the thing.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
And you need a
I
reason to
totally,
bring these characters together, not just, we want to both of these franchises are big. Let's put them together. It's sort of like, how can we do this for a story?
Yeah.
I was reading the latest solicitations from Marvel, and they're actually putting out a facsimile book for Avengers JLA crossover. So they're doing, which is weird. They're doing book 2, and they're going to reprint it. So I think
What do
that's
you
going to
mean?
go.
What do you
insane.
mean book
Well, you
two?
remember the 4 issue limits? There's a
Yeah,
president,
yeah.
but they're actually going to do a facsimile edition of just issue 2,
Why?
which
Why issue two?
I've no idea why.
Why
Why
not
would you
just do
put the whole thing out
Yeah,
again?
that's what I'm thinking. Why just issue two?
I don't know, dude. I maybe there's something. I can't remember the series. I read it years ago, but I don't
That's
know.
odd.
Maybe there's something with 2. I don't know, but they're doing issue 2.
I have to look at
Weird.
it now and say, what was so special about issue two?
Yeah, you have the book because I know Brian put it aside for you.
Yeah, yeah, I have that one. But my thing is, why issue two? Well, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, if the movie's coming out later this year, why not just reprint it? And DC stuff is, they're doing movies on some of the DC characters, so why not just reprint the whole
Well,
graphic?
this goes back to what we were discussing about our comics dying. These two companies are stupid. Why not get together and reprint the damn thing as
Yeah, that's it.
everyone can
Yeah,
get it, not like this limited thing where I remember comic shops had to like it was a lottery system and you got lucky
yeah,
if you got 1 or 2. I know you got the
that's it.
one too,
Yeah,
Brian Chetan. But I mean that didn't make sense. Prez passes away. Why not celebrate the guy's life by bringing out
that's
this?
yeah.
I just don't understand it. I don't
Yeah.
get it.
But I think that's the thing with the companies, where the companies don't, seem to care on that. They're just, I hate to say it, it's just, it's we're going to sound like a broken record, but it's that same thing that's been happening for the last 20, 30 years. They're not
Right.
learning. They're not learning.
Yeah.
And the thing
The,
is, and the worst part is, as a, someone like you, as an example, where
Mm.
you like the character, you like the writers and stuff like that. Eventually, we're going to screw it up and get rid of that team, and you're just going to drop that book.
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. You're right. Totally right. So
Okay, so I think this is a good way to end our complaints about the comic companies.
I think we all agree what we all agree about where they're going. That's
Yeah.
for
Yeah. Yeah. Comics will survive as long as we still keep making them.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean that's it. You guys are making comics and that's great. I mean that to me is fantastic. I think people. You're right. Just the more you make comics, they never die.
Yes. That's
They
it.
will
Keep making
remain.
comics, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.